Hi, good morning, my armadilliest armadillos. And if it's not morning where you're at, then it's not morning, and it's definitely not good. Because if you're not from the land of the free, what are you doing? You're missing out on so much. I'm talking about school shootings, our president being a convicted criminal, just really showing us that everyone can live the American dream. PNG file or PDF file, it does not matter what kind of file you've been exported as, you can still do it. And this is why we love the land of the free. And it's only free until you say something about Israel. If you say something about them, then it's super expensive. It's not free anymore. And I'm sure if you clicked on this video, your pupils have already been placed upon the thumbnail and the title, and you probably have a good idea of where this MP4 file is headed. But in today's video, we're going to be looking at some AI right-wing slop. Now, I make this disclaimer every time I make a slightly political video, even though this channel just becomes more and more political as the days go on. And obviously because I'm poking fun at right-wingers, people will have this notion that I am a left-winger. And the reason I say that is not to say, hey, left-wingers, look at me. I'm not one of you and I can make fun of the right as well. And just because I'm saying something like this, people make it sound like I'm saying both right-wing and left-wing should lose their wings. No, they can still both fly. I'm not saying they can't. But I think it's okay for someone to say, I don't agree with a party's political ideology completely, which is why I think now more than ever, we need a third party. The chicken wing political party. I've already talked about it and what it entails, but one of the things that I promised to bring as leader of the chicken wing political party is there will be freedom for all armadillos. All armadillos will not be in zoos. They will not be locked up. They will be free to roam this earth. What the party will also entail, I can't tell you. That's the only thing I've thought about so far, but the armadillos will be free, so you have no reason to not vote for me. But before I keep dipping the yip and the yap, let's actually talk about this MP4 file that I'm going to unfile. Now, ever since the deactivation of Charlie Kirk, there has been a plethora of AI videos pushing propaganda around his name. And this has kind of sent me down this downward spiral, and I feel like that's how all of my videos get produced. I see one thing, and somehow my For You page says, yes, Ahmed, you enjoyed this one thing. Let us just give you a million more of them. So it sent me down this rabbit hole of just looking at right-wing AI slop. And my goodness, is it sloppy? Because it's one thing to utilize artificial intelligence to push political propaganda. But it's another thing to utilize artificial intelligence to push political propaganda that just has no ganda. It has absolutely no motion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and watch some of this right-wing AI slop. What is my life? This is going to be a very long video. There's a lot of issues with this video, but the first thing that just makes me want to unpupil my pupils, that apparently heaven is just 13 steps upwards. Just walk towards the clouds and set up 13 stairs. You'll be chilling with the homies up top. Whether you liked Charlie Kirk or you didn't like Charlie Kirk, I think this is a pretty disrespectful video. If you were making this in good light, I think you're disrespecting two things at one time. Because one, you're taking the judgment of God and saying, yes, Charlie Kirk is in this place or isn't in this place. And in this video, you've decided where he's located at. So I think you should probably make it clear, are you saying you have judgment that God has over where Charlie Kirk has been placed? And look, I'm not saying where Charlie Kirk should be placed or shouldn't be placed. I'm not the one to make that judgment. But by making this video, you are saying what God should be saying. This is one of the more bearable ones. I've seen some where he is going straight from the college campus to heaven. Just a direct flight to the afterlife. Being trapped in this area of the internet is something that I would only wish on my worst enemy. Because after I got that Charlie Kirk AI video, I've just got a billion Charlie Kirk AI videos.
First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end, it's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad. It is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy. Do it with strength. And never ever let evil think it won.
I don't know what's worse, using artificial intelligence to make it sound like a guy said something that he didn't say, or the tribes in the crowd clapping for an AI voice of a guy saying something that he just didn't say. As much as it's fun to sit back and look at this objectively and say, this is just not real, the dystopian coding over a video like this is that there are probably people in that crowd that are probably hitting triple digits thinking, wow, what a great guy. He actually said that to us before he dipped. And that's the terrifying thing about AI, is that right now you could maybe tell, and even with some of the new technology with Sora 2 and whatnot, it's harder to tell. But imagine in 20 years when AI is just not AIable. You just can't check if AI has been AI'd. We're not cooked. We are burnt. We're going to be boiled. But the Charlie Kirk AI trope doesn't stop there. This is a real tweet. I'm not just tweeting this. This is something that actually was chirped. Charlie is somewhere in heaven, calming Irina down. I'm sorry, Ryan. Are you getting play-by-play heaven updates that we just didn't know about? I hate when people do this. They make it sound like they have God on speed dial. Like they can just get an update on what's going on up there. I'm wrong. Maybe this is what happens when you get verified on X. You just get seamless connection to the higher power. But out of all of the Charlie Kirk AI videos that we just unvaulted, I think this is the worst one in the series. I need daddy. The heartbreaking words of Charlie Kirk's son as he cried out for his father after seeing him on TV. A moment that brought the whole world to tears. AI pictures of Charlie's son and his wife, who is also banned from Romania. I think you should search up why. Now look, I think I've made it pretty blunt on this channel that I did not like Charlie Kirk. But how is it that I am coming out to his defense? How is this acceptable? How is this respectable in any sort of way? But I'm unhappy to say that Charlie Kirk AI is not the only way AI is being misutilized. Because those that are right-footed, well, you could be right-wing and be left-footed, but I'm just gonna assume you're right-footed. Those that are chilling on the right, doesn't mean they're on the right side, but those that are on the right have been misusing all of their rights with AI. Let's take this for example. Steve 2A, God, family, country, and 4 American flags in between all of those says, that was beautiful. And before you ask, I voted for this. Now you might be wondering, Steve 2A, God, family, country, what did you vote for exactly?
Queso, no cheese! No queso, no cheese! You hear me? No queso, no cheese! Get back! No! Ah! Ah! My eyes! Ah! I can't see! I can't see!
Now I tried to go more into the tweet and see if he genuinely believes this, but then I saw his other tweets and realized, no, he actually believes this. Fake AI protests. We are actually living in a simulation. As somebody that's young, youthful, attractive, and 6'4", I'm not going to fall for this. But imagine planting a video like this on Facebook. Can you imagine the amount of Beckys, Karens, Bobs, and Brads that would be eating this up? A video like this would make them throw a MAGA Diddy party. I'm so happy right now, I could just go shoot something. And this is my issue with this. If you're gonna use AI to make protesters look like their craniums are cracking, at least do a good job. At least make it look realistic. No queso, no cheese. Really? It's just cheesy. Certainly we can do better than this. They need to actually have courses on bullying, because if you're gonna bully, at least bully properly. Trump, I want to fight crime in DC. Liberals, 10 seconds later flocking to DC. We stand in solidarity with crime. Now this is another wonderful tactic when abusing AI that we need to sit back and acknowledge. I mean, it's just fascinating what they've done here. Because we all remember that time when that colored-haired liberal, because they're all colored in hair, right? No liberal has ever had just hair that was not dyed. But we all remember that pinnacle in time where the liberal went to DC and said, we stand in solidarity with crime. Like all the times they said, we don't want any more school shootings, and people on the right said, well, we want to keep our guns. So it's worth it to have the school shootings. But we remember this AI image of this very clearly liberal girl. Super clear. They couldn't make it any clearer than that. And this is the thing. I fell for this. I saw this picture and said, yeah, nothing about this looks AI. But then I noticed that they didn't put enough piercings on her. And then I realized, no, this is not AI. Liberals have more piercings than that, right? Because every liberal experiences the canon event of walking into a piercing store. Is that a thing? Do they have piercing stores? I'm not really sure. I've never been pierced. But every liberal has done this. They've walked into piercing stores and the piercer said, how many piercings would you like? And every liberal has said,
yes.
the lengths you're going to frame people because those people are not willing to frame themselves is outstanding. Everyone can disagree. Like I said, I don't agree with everything on the right or the left. But it's another thing to just defame people. And to use AI to do so is just another level of defaming. Now, this might not seem like a big issue, but as time goes on, these images do play a part, I believe, in the membranial region. Because if you continuously see videos and images of people poking fun at certain people, then eventually that is going to do something to you, whether it's real or not. It's the same way that half of the TV shows that you watch on Netflix have to mention that they've been to Israel or they have a poster of Israel, because that does something to you subconsciously. It tells you that, hey, this is a very normal thing. But one thing I do love is when people in power or politicians use AI to be racist. That's one of my favorite ones. In this case, Andy Ogre decides that he wants to make fun of Zoran Mamdani. And if you don't know who Zoran Mamdani is, he's the guy that has promised to bring Sharia law to New York. Except he hasn't promised to do that whatsoever. Bye-bye, little Muhammad. If you lied on your N400 naturalization forms, you're going home. He's done an AI image of himself, which doesn't even look like Andy Ogre, because somehow he's managed to not be as genetically pleasing as the AI image. But he's telling Zohran that he's gonna get deported because he's legal. And of course, if you're legal, you must get deported, right? It's not just illegals that are getting deported now. If you're legal, you should also get kicked out. Because you just look like you like seasoning, and we don't like that. We don't like the fact that you use spices on your chicken. We want a very bland chicken. Bye-bye, little Muhammad. I mean, nothing Islamophobic or racist about that. Just super peaceful and somebody that's looking to bring everybody together. But when every breathing organism gets to use AI, sometimes that doesn't end up great. For example, the Martin Luther King AI videos. This is the first one that I've seen pushing the MAGA propaganda.
I have a dream tonight. A dream that this nation will rise above division and strife, and that we will once again make America great.
Now look, I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I just don't think he had that dream. I want to put this on the Republican Party, so I'm gonna put it on their followers because they're the ones that made this video. Now the thing is, you would see a video like this and think, well, yeah, it's obviously not real. And the only reason I was able to tell is because MAGA merch didn't exist back then. And I really wish it didn't exist right now. Now obviously majority of people are seeing something like this and finding it quite comical, because nothing funnier than taking a deceased man and making him say something that he didn't say. Let's take this mythical man for example. He will definitely be disappointed at why is happening right now. Right. And I think he'll be definitely disappointed with how you failed to install Grammarly. You can see how this is dangerous. Obviously, for those that are under-marinated, they'll be able to see through this. But for those that are this close to booking a flight to the afterlife, for those that are about to be extinct, for those that are relics, if they see something like this on Facebook or WhatsApp, they're eating it up. Actually, matter of fact, they're mukbanging it up. But as time goes on, AI will become harder and harder to see through. I don't know if you can tell, but this country is heading in all of the directions. But this is good to know. Whenever I fail to come up with an idea for a YouTube video, I can always count on the MAGA merchants to give me content. They just know how to utilize the single civilian in their nucleus for harm. And we have to give them credit where discredit is due. If you did somehow enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you can be a part of the movement. Where we're moving, I have no idea, but we're moving somewhere. And with that being said, if it's not morning where you're at still, then put your hands up. Looks like we're gonna be mourning you. That wasn't a fun way to end the video. I love you. Here's a kiss. Just like catch it. Good catch. Good boy.